Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. I'm your co-host Ted Jenkins, sitting here with my co-host Lee Heisman. And of course, our special guest today, all the way up from Miami, Florida, Gene Gordon, who's the CEO of PensionQuote, and he's created some strategies to literally help you save tens of thousands of dollars of taxes, maybe even more. This is why you need to go to shrimptankpodcast.com and check out the entire podcast that Lee and I did with Gene today. It was so informative. We learned so much information about tax code and business owners and ways that you can make your business work harder for you. And as always, if you want to hear a replay of all the podcasts, not only go to shrimptankpodcast.com, but download us at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, go to Stitcher, SoundCloud, go to iHeart. We are now rated the #1 entrepreneur podcast in the city of Atlanta.
Very true, Ted. Congratulations on that.
I like that. I like being #1. Who wants to be #2 in business? Nobody.
It's very true. Well, speaking of #1, I will tell you, I feel like I've become #1 because I am now using your services, Gene, and a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are watching or listening today need to consider doing that. Entrepreneurs are so focused on making their respective widgets that they're not really focused on all of the tax benefits that you have access to. Can you kind of share with our listeners what is the special recipe that you put together here to help business owners?
Well, the key to this is that they need to go beyond what they've seen and what they think they're familiar with. There's a whole world of stepped-up benefits and plans, things like defined benefit plans, cash balance plans, that people only thought were there for the big companies, the car companies and General Electric. And as I said before, the things that apply to those huge companies, those rules apply to a one person, two partners, a mom and pop business, and everything in between. And you need to say to yourself, how much more tax deduction would I want if I could get it? So if you're maxed out in the plans you're doing, and by the way, the reason you see those plans is they're sort of cookie cutter. Every company that sells some financial service has some cookie cutter plan of that type. All right. And so very often people don't do them because they just don't fit into that structure. We only do custom work. I guess perhaps that's what's made us successful. We operate in all 50 states. And most of our business came from financial planners who needed that solution for their clients. It's only recently that we've been going directly to the public and making these plans available to them. So you can get that, as I mentioned earlier, that billion-dollar tax advice, all right, and utilize it to make your life better. And sock away a whole bunch more money. We like to say, how would you like to retire on the money you didn't pay Uncle Sam? And the other slogan in our company would be, never defer a tax refund.
Yeah, and of course, Gene, Uncle Sam will never send you a thank you note, just letters in the mail. And today you mentioned a lot of these strategies are really elegant. What would you say is the biggest mistake or the biggest opportunity that most business owners have when it comes to taxes? Because often they think if I have a CPA, I have it all covered. But the truth is they really don't, right?
Well, if you're starting with the CPA, you're getting ready to pay the taxes you've already accrued. You really need to take a look at this before you owe the taxes. That said, you really can put a plan like this in and execute it at the 12th hour. I mean, if you get the paper signed on New Year's Eve, you're okay because you don't have to get all the money in on New Year's Eve. You can get all the money in to put these plans in place with extensions all the way till next September, October generally. So you can get the deduction in place, okay, if you're dragging your feet, and you can spread the dollars that you want to put away to do it. I guess one of the big things is people need the dollars to put into the plan to get the deduction. And I guess people sometimes get cash thin. And they pay more tax because they just don't have the dollars. I'm not an advocate of this, but you'd almost be better off borrowing the money to get yourself on track so you could start to get the cycle of not paying the tax working in your favor.
It's true. Once you're cash thin, Gene, then you can't get into this program, and it's just a spiraling situation that you'll never get yourself out of.
It's absolutely true. And also you find that a lot of people, most successful people, I don't know why it is, they pay the tax at the 12th hour. A lot of the very affluent take extensions continually. They're paying their tax in September, October. That's a good barometer of not wanting to pay tax, I would think. I would say that you need to get up. If you haven't been able to do this, this is the moment to say, what can I do? And is there a comfortable way I can get myself into this position? Because April is coming up, all right? And if you didn't do this last year, Well, yes, you can put in, an IRA and maybe some 401k deferral before then, but you can't put the big dollars away unless you've executed that before 12/31, your calendar year.
So real quick, Gene, and earlier in the show, you're very humble, of course, but you've been extremely successful in your organization. You're definitely a leader in this industry. What is one of the small keys that has made your firm successful?
Well, talent, and I don't mean mine. We have dozens and dozens of people, actuaries, administrators. It has to do with design. You can give two doctors a scalpel, and one of them is going to do a heart transplant, and I guess another one just might do tonsils. They're both good doctors, but they have different skill levels with the same tools. And so that's what I mean. You need people who are experienced. You're not going to get an individual to go out and do one of these sophisticated plans. And by the way, they are not any much more expensive to do than your 401k administration. By the way, and to be clear on this, we don't invest the money. We don't touch the money. We're sort of like your architects. We will build the house so you get the tax deduction, and then you can deal with your financial advisors to decorate that house in pretty much anything you want to do.
So if people are ready to build their house, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, they would call our number, which I think is flashing on the screen, but I'll give it to you again if you want, which is 305-536-1144. Or you can email us. As a matter of fact, you can email me directly because we did that for the show. It could be Gene, Gene, at PensionQuote.com. And by the way, the website has a wealth of information on it, from case studies to situations, and it's really written in language that you'll understand. It's not there to impress a technical individual. It's there to communicate with you.
Gene, somebody can only buy one suit from one suit maker out there. Where are they buying that suit?
Well, hopefully they're buying it. I mean, are you talking about an actual suit?
Yeah, I'm talking about an actual suit that you wear. You want to look sharp, What do you got? I thought you had a favorite maker here. You don't?
Well, you need to fly. I would say the one suit would be Europe, but those days are quickly disappearing. Nobody's wearing suits anyway.
Yeah, not Lee and I. We're wearing jeans and T-shirts most days. So, folks, definitely get in contact with Gene about this if you want to save money on taxes and have him be that architect to build out your plan. And when it comes to taxes in your business, you're always thinking about the three things, which is, do I pay tax now, do I pay tax later, or do I pay tax never? Which one sounds best to you? What really separates a business owner over time is not only how you run your business. It's not only that you make money, but the real question is not what you make, it's what you keep. So you use people like Gene, you figure out strategies how to keep more in your pocket. That's how you build your wealth as an entrepreneur. And this has been the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp